Also,
Yeah.
I heard that a piece of art that you make and you put inside your room, it's not really a piece of art. That is just a piece of art when you put it out in the world and people can interact to it and see what they
One
think.
of the interviews that I saw that you did, it was in Portuguese, and my Portuguese is okay.
It's awesome. Your Portuguese is great.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Believe
you.
me.
This is all I need. We can finish the episode here now. Perfect. We got all we need. How important is art to society?
Well, that's an intense question.
Yeah, you have, and this is one of those you're representing Brazil now.
Yes, right.
Salvador. E aí, beleza, bem-vindo. What's up, what's good, and welcome back to the Brazilian podcast with me, your host Stephen, reporting live from Salvador. Yes, we are back, and we are here with a very special guest. We have the amazing graphic designer, founder of studiolombra, Maribê. Maribê, how are you doing?
Great, Steven. It's nice to be here with you. I'm really excited to be here. We talked about this for a long time,
Yeah,
so
ages.
it's exciting to
Yeah,
finally be here with you.
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, part of that's on me because I wasn't in the country for a while. So, and also part of it is yourself because you're someone who works a lot.
Too much.
Yeah, yeah. I think when we started speaking, I think it was around November last year or just before. And you were doing a lot of things, and I think one of them was Afro punk and stuff like that. You did Afro punk, right?
No, I didn't do that, but it was like at that time I was crazy. I was doing
Yeah.
a lot of other things, so yeah, for me as well, it was hard to have this meeting. But here, like being live with you, it's better, right? So I'm glad that we didn't do that before when we were
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah,
And we're doing
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, it's much better to be live than online. I mean, online works too, for whatever reason, it has to be online. But yeah, definitely better. It's good as well. And we're here in Salvador. You're from Salvador, right?
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised. Nice.
Yes.
Good, good. And do you think that Salvador has an influence in what you decided to become, like in terms of your job and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Salvador is a city, it's a really rich city, right? Um, with all its history and its culture, but like visually, it's really, really rich, right? Carnival and I don't know, just like going out in the streets. It's just a lot happening. And I feel like Salvador has um, some it has this architecture that is like old, right? Colonialist. And at the same time, you can see a lot of graffiti art and posters and things on the street. So it's always you always have this two sides of the city. So I feel like that really moves me like till this day.
Yeah. The colonial side of it, is it something that people celebrate, or is it something that's like maybe a little bit people can be a bit ashamed of, or do you know what I mean? Like, because it
Yeah.
seems to be like, at least in my experience, it seems to be that people don't really shy away from those conversations. They're pretty upfront about the history of Salvador in terms of colonization and the whole slavery and all stuff like that. But they talk about it very upfront. But at the same time, there's this rebellion and revolution that is also being talked about at the same time. So it's like, are these things in contrast with each other? Or like, can you not necessarily enjoy both of these things, but do they influence you in a way that's could be positive?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think there's this two ways to look at it, as you said. Like it's when you go to Pelourinho, um, it's really nice and people go there to have fun. But in the history, it's not a good place. It was not a good place before historically.
Yeah.
But I feel like people from Salvador, we have this thing about kind of rebuilding things, like Like I know that this was given to me, but I don't want to like be like suffering about it and like looking at it and being sad. So it's a type of attributing a new meaning to stuff. So I feel like people here we do that because
Yeah.
we're not going to suffer all this time just like being in Pelourinho and seeing all the colonialist architecture. But I feel like we have been building. When I say we, like it started
Yeah.
a lot of time before me, but rebuilding this art view, this visual culture in our way. So I think that's powerful for me. I think that inspires me.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's so cool. Yeah, you guys always have that spin
Yeah.
on things.
Yeah.
You kind of turn very good at looking at the positive side of things. I think way more than in Europe anyway. Way more than in Europe. I think it might be a climate thing.
Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like because I mean people are happier when it's sunny and stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know. It might just be your perseverance and your attitude towards things.
Yeah.
But culturally, but yeah, no, it might have something to do with the weather.
Yeah, I know the weather is here is always sunny even when it's winter. So
Yeah,
winter is like sunny with rain.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't. But here in Salvador, not anywhere else. But yeah, winter the water's still warm, which is quite shocking. You're like, yo, you can actually get in there. You're not like trying to avoid it,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting. So tell me about like your upbringing in terms of where you were brought up, and how that kind of affects your work.
What do you mean? I couldn't really
Your
get it.
upbringing, meaning like where you were born and raised, just just from the start to.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. Sorry, you guys. I speak
No.
English, but it's not my first language. So.
Upbringing, don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to be posh. Let me impress you with my nice English there.
Vocabulary.
Yeah. Tell me about your upbringing. Now, where were you born?
Okay.
There you go.
So, as I was telling you before, my dad is a musician, and my mom, she's a oh my god, I don't know how to say this in English, but she works like with psychology inside like education, the education area. So my dad inside my house was really a big reference for me with this music stuff. And soon I started to experiment with music. So he had like this recorder, his old recorder with like a tape inside, and he would like go everywhere with that, and I started playing with that as well. So I feel like this opened my mind to this creative world, to
Yeah.
be like able to create something from the scratch. So yeah, and then I started developing this. I really like to read, so
Okay.
so my parents used to buy me a lot of magazines, and then those magazines I started making collages for my notebooks in school. So like the cover for my
Oh,
notebooks.
okay. Oh, cool. So you just
Yeah.
design covers
Yeah,
for your
yeah,
books.
yeah, with like collage. So I started doing that, and started to draw with the magazines. When I was really, I think I was like 5 or like 7, I don't know. We had to learn calligraphy, and I was one of the only kids that really liked doing calligraphy. Those calligraphy
You
books.
had to do calligraphy.
Yeah, but it's just like to learning how to write, like the first steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Here we
what
call-
year was this?
Here we call it calligraphy. Probably not.
No, the nice writing.
Yeah.
Yes, calligraphy. Yeah.
Yeah, make your letter look good.
Yeah. Okay.
And understandable. And I really liked doing that. So I feel like that was like the start. I was born in 92, so I'm a 2000s kid.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
MTV, it was on TV,
yeah.
you know, all those things. The 90s, I think, was like visually, it was really big for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being from Salvador, but I feel like I always had this global references. I was always looking for a way to combine what I had here and what I saw
Yeah,
there in other parts of the world. So I think it was like a mix of all those things.
yeah. Your what international global influences were you looking at back then and even now? Like who are some artists that you are inspired by?
Back then, I don't know, because I
Yeah,
was like just seeing a lot of things on TV
yeah,
in magazines. So I started listening to Linkin Park and Avril Lavigne, you know,
yeah,
just like getting to understand that I could choose what I wanted to hear and what I wanted to watch, you know, like this first steps of my of my how can I say this?
your creative journey.
Yeah, of my creative
Yeah,
journey. Yes, yes. So I don't remember, but I do remember that that was really impactful. Like it was really something for me. You know, like the CD covers that we don't really look at now. There's
yeah,
no CDs anymore,
yeah,
right? So that was really big for me, and posters. So I sometimes I didn't even know what it was, but I remember like being like looking at it and being like interested somehow, you
yeah.
know. But now, um, I really I'm really bad at names, but I know what I want, what I like to look, what I like to look in the internet or etc. when
Okay.
I'm looking for references. So I search a lot about graffiti, about street art. Um, my boyfriend is really a person who appreciates graffiti, and he has a lot of books in our
Okay.
house. So that inspires
Books on
on graffiti,
graffiti.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, just I feel like that inspires me a lot because I feel like that somehow connects with that 90s 2000s vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, all those things to get mixed up.
Do you know about Banksy?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, most people probably would know about Banksy, right? That's not like something that didn't cross over to Brazil.
No, it's a
No.
lot of people know
Yeah,
about
okay,
this. Yeah.
cool. Yeah. And I know you're not a graffiti artist, but you do
I
some graffiti.
experiment,
You
yeah.
experiment, okay. Is there like a Brazilian equivalent of Banksy
A
that exists?
Brazilian, I don't know.
Should be asking Ivor, is there? There's not?
No,
Or
it
maybe you
was
could
too
be.
big.
Or maybe there, I mean, because Banksy's, he doesn't share his, I assume it's a he, uh, identity. I promise you there was a time that he followed me on Twitter. If it was the
What?
real Banksy, this is like 2009.
Oh my
So
god.
back when Twitter was
Uh huh.
cool, you know, no disrespect. Back when it was, back when it wasn't X. But anyway, and then he unfollowed me. So yeah, that was,
No.
yeah, I think I got a bit too excited. Started asking for things that I shouldn't have. Sounds like something I would have done. But there's no sort of like equivalent in terms of like an anonymous figure that is Brazilian that does art that goes around the world and does sort of like political art that you could,
Anonymous? No, not that I know.
yeah,
Not that I know. But there's some really great, awesome graffiti artists
yeah,
here that, even here in Salvador, there's one that I really like. His name is Cody. He actually does the visuals for a really awesome artist singer here that's called Vandal.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Do you know
I've
him?
heard about Vandal. I didn't know it was pronounced Vandal.
Yeah,
Clearly
yeah,
not listened, but yeah.
yeah. So he actually does that, and he is an amazing graffiti artist. But yeah, I wish people here could be seen like globally,
Yeah,
like Banksy, because we have a lot of great
yeah.
artists here as well.
I mean, this is the chance, you know. Oh, this is the chance. Let's see how many views we get. You know, like and subscribe. But who are some of the Brazilian black and indigenous influences that come from your scene? Obviously, talking about graffiti, but art in general, and also graphic design. Who are some people that you could potentially
Okay,
talk
some
about?
people that I really like in the graphic design industry are Leba Assis. He's called Leandro Assis. He's really great. He has done stuff for Nike. He works with letters in an amazing way.
Hmm.
Paula Cruz, also an illustrator. Um, oh my God, there's so much people. I hate to do that because if
Yeah.
I forget about
No, don't
someone,
worry. I mean, it's just to know if you're like, if you're
yeah,
not really sure about this industry, and
yeah.
it's good to know these people exist. And if you are someone that's quite into this industry, then maybe you could just like have a branch out and sort of check it out. Obviously, we should be checking out your stuff, Maribê's stuff, which is, I mean, when did it first start off for you? When did you first get your sort of, I don't know, whether it was a paid gig or a big, considered a big gig at the time? Say gig, you know what I mean, right? Like your
Yeah.
first job that was like something that sort of stamped you as a graphic designer, a professional graphic designer, or an established graphic designer. What was that for you?
I think that was a festival that I did in 2022 because I feel like called Festival Radioca that
Oh,
happens here
okay,
in
yeah,
Salvador.
yeah.
I think that was a big change for me because
Yeah.
the thing is, I graduated in graphic design and then I started working in advertising agencies.
Hmm.
But I felt like in ad agencies I didn't have the time I wanted to do stuff. And in graphic design we learn a lot about like methods and like a way to do steps to do certain things.
Hmm.
And here the experience that I had in ad agencies, it's like, oh, we know we have like Easter every year, but we just make the artwork like 2 days before, one
Yeah,
day before, So I
yeah.
couldn't really get do what I wanted to do. So I started doing like freelance work, and then I created the studio, the Lombra studio,
Yeah,
my graphic
yeah.
design
I checked it
studio.
out. Yeah, Lombra Studio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has like 3 years.
yeah.
So yeah, that
So
was
that's
Hadjok.
Hardioka. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I did that,
Hmm.
my clients they got me free of everything. They were like, "Do what you want to do.
Ah,
We believe
nice.
in you." And I was like, "Oh, I really want to illustrate, but I've never done that before for a project."
Okay.
So that was the
Wow.
first project that I illustrated, and
Yeah.
they really liked it. And so that was like a game change for me.
Hmm.
It's not like a huge global festival, but it was like this festival that changed my life. And I actually did the visual identity for them last year as well.
Okay. Oh, so they
So
loved it. They even got
yeah,
you
so it was,
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great match.
Nice, nice. And yeah, I remember that because I think when I was doing my research on that, you mentioned in one of the interviews that I saw that you did Something that I don't. It was in Portuguese, and my Portuguese is okay.
It's awesome. Your Portuguese is great.
Oh, thank you.
Believe
thank you.
me.
This is all I need. We can finish the episode here now. Perfect. We got what we need. Or what I need. Is texture that you use for the letters?
Yeah, yeah. It's a pencil texture on the iPad.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's
It's
amazing.
all digital. Yeah. I really, and that's like they wanted us to explore the neighborhood where the festival happened. That is Ribeira.
Okay, cool.
So it's a
Near the
neighborhood that
church.
has, yeah,
Yeah.
has a lot of boats and this fishing culture, and it's a different neighborhood.
Yeah.
It looks like a small city inside Salvador, so we kind of wanted to give it this vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's amazing. I love the
Thank you.
chair.
Yeah,
I love the chair.
the
'cause
chair
it-
is so Brazilian, right?
Yeah, it just feels like so. Like you're gonna find that chair
Everywhere.
everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's the best food in that restaurant. The chairs might be like that, and you're still paying whatever through the money that it is, the cost of that. But yeah, and I love the radio as well. I think that's really cool. I know that you've done a few different types of radios as well with that.
Yeah, because
great.
their name is like Rádio, right? Haji or
Yeah.
Ka. So they have this. This is the brand, but I redraw it. They have a brand, but it's like really like
Yeah.
vectorized
Yeah.
and boxed. So I redraw it. Really liked the work.
Yeah. Ô Sérgio, a gente tem mais imagens do Radioca? Ou, tipo, imagens que tem isso? Eu não sei se eu coloquei, mas a gente tem. Pode ser massa pra ver. How you doing? You
Good.
okay? Yeah? Good. Você tem massa, mas se não, tudo bem. Mas a gente pode jogar outra imagem do trampo. Saying that my Portuguese is good now. It's made me relax. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna say whatever, and then you'll see. So this is radio, Radioca, Radioca,
Radioca.
Radioca. Yeah, and that's the name of the festival.
Yeah.
Yes. What type of is it? It's a music festival, right?
Yeah, it's a music festival. The idea is to show people. They have a motto that says, the music, it's like the music you're still gonna hear, something like that. So it's like they want to bring this artists that normally people don't really know,
Yeah,
but
so
they're
like-
really, really good, and they're probably gonna be like big at some point, you know?
Okay, so like underground artists. we could
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, they're still
Yeah.
still there. They haven't gone pop just yet.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
haven't
just
burst
yet.
just yet onto the scene.
Yeah.
Which is great because then you get to see them when they were cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I remember when you were, and now I gotta pay this amount for your tickets and whatnot.
Yes.
And yeah, so yeah, you got Vandal.
Yeah.
Who I know who else
Yeah,
is
he was
there?
there.
Um,
Russo Passapulso, the Baiana assistant singer.
okay,
But he did a show with Antonio Carlos e Jocafe that are really great musicians from here, but they're like from other time, you know. They were like they started a movement. So Russo, he does that. He combines himself
does
with
that,
something
doesn't
that
he?
got
Yeah, yeah. I
that
heard
came
that about
before.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It was really great. That show was really. They have an album together. But yeah, it was really, really good. Just because they gave me that opportunity to do what I felt like and illustrate. And I feel like that was the start for me to understand that it was time for me to get back to that. Because in the ad agencies, I feel like I was always building this Frankenstein, but like trying to make the Frankenstein looks good, you know, because
Yeah.
I got the photos from a photo stock, and then got the vectors from a vector stock, and then I
Right.
mixed both together and tried to make it creative
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
And then when I started like my freelance work, I started to question what I was doing, because I always had this view to want to make something different and something like personalized out, exclusive, to do stuff as I felt like.
Yeah.
But when I got when I got into the university, I didn't have the tools to do that. So I
Yeah.
was thinking about something and I couldn't really do it because I didn't have the tools.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got the tools, I started working at the ad agency and kind of got my creativity killed somehow.
Big business, you know.
Yeah.
It happens. Sometimes it's just the essence of it. Sometimes it's the idea that you're doing this for a conglomerate rather than, you know, an individual or something that might be considered maybe up and coming or underground.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that kind of, you know, unfortunately, these people are paying you well, unfortunately. Fortunately, these people are paying you, well, paying you,
Yeah.
you know, and it feels like a job. So I know what you mean. I've had that in the past where you're just like, you feel like you're losing your essence a bit,
Yes,
you know.
definitely. That was that. That was that.
But on the other hand, you mentioned like you feeling like you were creating Frankenstein's monster because you're bringing this thing together and this and sort of collaging it and all that stuff, which could be considered a bad thing if you don't feel that creative. But I don't know. I remember you saying something about the importance of being mediocre,
Yeah.
and you know, in a good way, you know. And
Yeah.
another quote that I got from you was I don't even know if it's your quote, but let me try and translate this. Ugly is more interesting than beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, what does that mean to you? How does that like resonate with?
That I did say that, but I listened that from my dad at
Oh,
some
okay.
point,
Yeah.
and I never forget it, because it's because he said that ugly can be more interesting than beauty, because when you look at something beautiful, you're just like, oh, this is so beautiful, and then you stop talking about it. And when it's ugly, you get like intricate. You're like, oh, why is how can this be like that?
You
You
get
know?
into detail, you know,
Yeah,
that and the this and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You get into detail. So that that was something that I'll never forget. But today I don't. I feel like there's no such a thing as ugly or beautiful. I feel like the two things kind of navigate. You know, I know that I like to embrace the mistakes and the
Right.
errors, you know,
Yeah.
because I feel like that brings humanity to things. So like this, it's not completely like a square, you know. It's kind of I don't know. It's not 100% perfect.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with that because I really, really tried to be perfect when I was a kid. I was like
Right.
really like brains and studied a lot, and so I feel like when I started to work on myself and understand who am I in this world, and I feel like that happened a lot with understanding myself as a black woman, as a creative, and as an entrepreneur in this world. I started thinking that perfect is not, I don't want to be perfect.
Yeah.
So for me, important to embrace that error. So I feel like my work now,
Yeah.
I talked about calligraphy. I actually did calligraphy courses when I was in the US. In my time
Right, yeah,
abroad, I
yeah.
studied that, and I did like 1,000 courses of calligraphy, like the bases, black letter, and etc. And then I got there, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
with the with the
Not a lot of
bad hand
calligraphy.
draw.
Yeah,
Yes, because that works for me. So I feel like the thing is what works,
yeah,
and not definitely what's beautiful or what's ugly, but does that work? And I feel like graphic design gave me that question.
yeah. Why did you do calligraphy in were you doing anything close to it? No, you did it. So you did it in the States. You're in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So you're in New Orleans doing calligraphy. But were you doing it before?
I always liked it. I don't know if I had courses. I think, yeah. I think I did, like, I always liked it, and I always experiment with it. When I was a kid, like my notebook, the when we start a new theme, a
Yeah.
new subject at school,
Yeah.
my notebook was, it's gonna be like well drawn, hand
Ah,
drawn.
okay.
So that goes from back
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
So you always had like this sort of I need to have good handwriting and it needs to
Yeah.
things
I
like
always
to be
liked,
presented well.
yeah, I always liked letters.
Okay.
I like to write before as well,
Yeah.
so that's probably why I developed that.
Okay.
I used to write.
What did you used to write?
How can I say this in English? I don't know.
Go on, let's say it in Portuguese anyway.
Contos, contos.
Contos, stories,
Yeah,
tales.
stories. Yeah,
Yeah.
stories. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like talk about like my opinion somehow, like, but in a like lyrical way, like talk about what I think,
Uh-huh.
but kind of poetically.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I used to do that. I had blogs and etc.
Okay.
Don't have the
Okay,
time
cool.
anymore, but I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No,
You should do it
should,
if
I
you have the
should.
time,
I
you
should.
know. This is cool. So this is from the Hadioka Festival
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Nice. How important is art to society? Graphic design, art, just in general, like as a medium, how important is it?
Well, that's an intense question.
Yeah, you have, and this is one of those you're representing Brazil now,
Yes, right.
Salvador, at least.
Definitely. So, I'm gonna talk about graphic design individually. The importance. I feel like graphic design works with communication, right? So we're communicating something with graphic design. And something that I actually talked about in other podcasts that I was in and matches with this question that you made now is that I feel like my work with graphic design, it has art. I kind of combined the two of them. And graphic design communicates, but art, I feel like art has something that I want to say something more. It's not something more, but I feel like it connects differently with people than graphic design. Art talks about an inner place, right? Talks about like how you feel.
Yeah.
So I feel like combined, the communication can be more effective, and we can get to other places with this work that is that has to communicate. We can go like how can I say this? We can go further
Yeah. Yeah, you can
when we
push it further
combine.
when you combine it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think art evokes emotion, whereas I think that graphic design it kind of influences it, it manipulates it. It says this is what you should pay attention to. You know, we have all of this, but there's information in there, so
Yeah.
take that as well as everything else.
Yeah.
You know, so it just seems to be a bit more. It has a stronger purpose.
Yes.
Purpose in terms of like a goal,
Yeah.
an objective.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
I think so. Cool. Let me grab another one. So you talked about New Orleans, and you were there for what, like a year and a bit?
Yeah. A year and a couple months.
Yeah. Do you have any interactions with gringos, foreigners in terms of your work, and like, what are the difference between working with Brazilians versus estrangeiros, foreigners?
I don't have a lot of experience working with foreigners. When I was there, I did a year at the university in graphic design, and then I had an internship for 2 months. So that was like the experience that I had there with that. But now I was working on a project this month with a gringo. And it was really great. It was okay. It was. I got worried about.
Were you worried? Yeah.
Yes, I got
it was
worried.
okay.
I was worried because it's not my first language. So I thought maybe we have.
No, your English is great though. Yeah, I mean you're.
Thank
you're
you.
flowing.
We can end the podcast here.
Yeah. Hey. Good. You got me there.
But yeah, so that was great. It went great. So I don't have that much experience, but I'm open if you guys want to contract me.
Gringo mais caro.
Yeah.
There's that.
But yeah, here in Brazil, it's mixed feelings because some clients will pay okay and will be like okay to deal with, but I get a lot of clients that they don't pay how much it costs, and I have a bad thing about myself is that I can get contaminated with your idea, with your passion. So if someone comes to me and goes like, oh, I have this idea and it's revolutionary, I get infected with that, you know. So
that's a good thing, right?
yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But sometimes I get some clients that don't pay the money, and I'm okay with that. If I agreed and do some project that it's not gonna pay, I'm okay with that. But then they wanna have 1,000 meetings. They don't wanna like change everything. And they say they like my work and they don't really like it. So that happens. That happens a lot. But I feel like it's getting to a point where it's better.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like now the clients that I'm getting respect me a lot, and that's really important in that relationship, right? So I feel like now it's better.
Yeah.
But I do want to work globally. I do have this thing inside of me because I feel like I like living in Salvador and all, but I do want to be in other places, and I call this like oxygenating my creativity. Does that make sense? Like putting oxygen to it, you know?
Definitely.
Putting some air.
Yeah, because I mean, I think this is the case. I mean, I produce audio visual stuff as well as obviously doing a podcast, but I'm not a creative as much as maybe yourself or Ivan or Ivan or any. You know, I don't really consider myself a creative, even though I create stuff. But I always find that you kind of need to have some life in between your art in order to, you know, put down your new experiences, whether it's music or, you know, making paintings or whatever, graphic design. You need some life in between it
Yes.
in order for you to have some experiences. So it's good to travel. To your point, it's good to travel just to get that as well.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I think even me, when I came here, I had planned to do something, and then like life kind of took over, and then the plans changed, and I
Yeah.
think it's for the better. But it wouldn't have happened had I not been here. Those ideas wouldn't have emerged from anywhere had I not changed my environment.
Yes.
Yeah. But just going back to what you were saying about sort of like clients not paying and stuff like that, which, you know, happens, especially if you're starting out, you know, you maybe take experiences, you valorize the experience. But in terms of your value in your industry, if your car's broken, you go to a mechanic. If you're not unwell, you go to a doctor, you go to a hospital. I feel like with graphic design, sometimes with editing videos is another example. People tend to go around all these different places, be it Pinterest, be it Google Images or whatever, Instagram, before they say, okay, let me invest in,
Yes.
you know. Do you find it that you have to not fight, but you have to sort of show your client what your value truly is, even after they've found you? Do you need to just sort of like reinforce that you should be valued more?
Yeah. Yeah. I do. I do feel like I have to explain a lot of things as well, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you're saying as well. Like not only about the importance of that, but about the way it happens. You know, like sometimes people will ask for a logo for a brand, and they don't even want to answer a briefing or like talk about it, or they don't even know.
They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, they
Is
just
there a thing?
yes, they're just like, oh, I want to do this, and then they think you are going to solve it by yourself.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's not. It's yeah, so they don't think like they're gonna be part of it.
Yeah.
It's important that they have the time to do it. It's a project that it's not mine. It's not actually mine. It's the client's project, you know.
Yeah.
So it's important that they have this they see that importance as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes, yeah, but now I feel like that's better.
Right.
At the beginning it was
What did you do to
definitely
make it
worse.
better?
I feel like it's just the business growing, and I focus on showcasing my work a lot. So I
Right.
do like I speak in places, and
Yeah.
I'm here now, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that and show my work and talk about it and talk about how I do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's getting somewhere. It's growing. People are understanding better what I do and how I
Yeah.
do it. So getting
Yeah.
better.
This is one of your piece of work which I love, especially because it's in English.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you explain this, please? At least the writing in it. I mean, it looks great, but you know, aren't you?
Yeah. That's a great.
Aren't you an effing psycho? You can swear on the Brazilian podcast. But
Okay.
yeah, we're showing it. We're not gonna blur that. But yeah.
So that was one of our cats. He actually passed this past weeks, but that's okay. We already in the saudade mood, you know. But so that's Grilo. His name is Grilo, and here in his cap is reading Grilli. That's a nickname that I gave him.
Okay.
And aren't you a fucking psycho? It's him. I draw it like on top of his picture, so it's definitely him. It looks like him. He doesn't have the tattoos, but
No? Okay.
but the thing is, every day at 6 p.m. he would start moaning. He would be like with this weird, making this weird noise, and every time we would be like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And then this question is like, "Aren't you a effing psycho?" Is that why are you doing this? Is us like desperate, like, please stop doing this fucking noise. So it just joined.
So every day at 6 o'clock.
Yes, every day at 6 o'clock. I don't know what happened.
Is
I
he
feel like
hungry?
no.
Okay.
I think he missed Eva because Eva was
Okay.
outside working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Was that the time that he was normally coming home?
yeah, a little bit after.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's like
Yeah, my dad's
preparing.
coming.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Crazy
Nice.
stories about illustrations.
No, I mean I love this. I love this because it reminds me of your other style, which we'll just get up here as well, which I think is once it comes up, it will come up. But I think that this is what made me sort of fall in love with your work. To be honest, this here, the pega
Yeah.
visão, which is probably my favorite phrase in Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese, which I'm not even sure what it means. It's just like pay attention or something, right? Pega visão.
Yeah, I can be pay attention. Oh God, it's so hard because I know Brazil has a lot of
Yeah,
expressions, but Salvador has really specific
yeah,
kind of weird expressions. But yeah, I feel like can be pay attention to this, can be like really, yeah, like really listen to this, like really catch this vibe.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. I mean, I use this a lot, and I think I learned this in Rio.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
it was
yeah. I
there.
definitely learned it in Rio because I lived in Rio for a couple of years, and yeah, some of my friends in London would make fun of me for saying it,
Really?
and I was like, why are they making fun? And I was like, are they not cool, or am I just not cool? Like, who's the uncool person there? So I don't know. That kind of, when you had that, it reinforced that. Yeah, I'm gonna say pega visão, pega visão. You know, it's cool. Pay attention. Listen.
Yeah, listen.
Na moral and pega visão is the things that come out of my mouth a lot.
Namorao
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, and I love this as well because, I mean, you're using two different people. For me, I don't know how this happens, but I pay attention to everything around this, probably because I love words, and then realize that that's a real person, that's in the photo rather than a drawing.
Yes.
You know, like, because it's really well animated. That, you know, are the eyes are the eyes that big?
No,
on
no,
this
no,
one?
no.
You've
Sometimes
made
I
them
do
bigger.
that, yeah. I make the eyes and the mouth
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah. What were these for? Or how did these come about?
I don't know.
I picked my favorite ones where it's just like, yeah. Whatever.
It's a crazy process. But the thing is, with the other artwork that you showed, for some time in my life, after I started the studio, I had no clients,
Yeah.
like for some months. And then like every day I worked for getting clients or organizing all the things inside the studio. So when I got clients, it was all gonna be ready. And then 1 month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months passed. And then like by the third month, I was like really like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I should look for like a paid job, like
Yeah, go
other
back to the
job,
ad agency or
yeah, or
something.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I was missing creating, right? Creating visually.
Uh-huh.
And then that, like the other thing that you showed is something that reminds me of that part of my life as well as that, because I created all of those when I didn't have clients. So it's all like art
Yeah.
for art, you know,
Yeah, for the sake of art.
for the sake of art.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was when I started like building this creative view that I have now, and
Yeah.
like this path. So that was just me desperate for creating something that made sense to me,
Yeah.
and mixing all those references that I talked about. So it was basically that. And like this, it says ocupar os espaços. How can I translate this? Like,
Occupy spaces.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's occupying the whole space, right?
Yeah.
It's in the whole space. Just because it's something that I believe, that is something that I say a lot, that is important for us, like Black people, to be in places, and in places that we are not. It's important for us to be there. So
Yeah.
it's something that I believe, and as well as that, pegar a visão for me is like really listening to this, like really like it's kind of like put yourself in my shoes. It's like there's someone on your side, and you're showing that person the vision from your angle, you know.
Uh-huh.
So it's what you think about that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Pega
that.
a visão. Catch the vision.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
someone's showing you something.
Yeah, yeah. Ah, thanks. You're giving me a new vision of a new perspective of how to look at that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I just created it. It just made
Listen,
sense.
it worked. It worked. You're creative. Speaking about you're creative, so just tell us about studiolombra. Obviously, that's your studio. Is it just you, or is it like a collaboration, a collective of people?
Yeah, now we're two Black girls. The idea of the studio is that we believe in Black female creativity. So our crew is all Black females. We were three, now we're two. We're looking for the third part.
Yeah.
We're two designers now. So I do the art direction, the creative direction,
Yeah.
and graphic design and illustration, and I have other designer with me that does graphic design, kind of illustrates as well. So she helps me, and now we're looking for how can I say, like a project manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
someone to do like deal with clients and
Yeah.
etc. Because
All Black women.
yeah, all Black women.
Yeah. No Black males.
No Black males.
No
Not now.
white females.
No white females.
Okay.
I'm kind of I do like here in Brazil. I feel like we don't talk a lot about BIPOC, like this term
that?
here.
Yeah, what's
That's
that?
Black, Indigenous, people of color.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So I'm kind of considering that as well. But now it's only Black females.
Okay. Nice. Cool. So I think just for time, just Sergio, what are we saying for time? A gente tem que terminar agora?
Sim.
At mass. Ah, eu sabia. Okay. For time, I love this. Can you just put this one up really quickly? Just because I think this one's great. Is this her?
No, They're all different.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, this one has like 6 eyes, to be honest. The other one didn't. So, yeah, it makes sense. I love this. I love this.
It's my favorite one as well.
It's your favorite one.
Uh-huh.
What does it say there? Pensa todo dia em desistir. E mesmo não, e mesmo assim,
Continuar.
continua with a K.
Yeah.
Can you translate that into English, please?
Think about quitting every day and go like forward still and keep moving still, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still keep moving. Yeah. Think about quitting every day and still keep moving. I think that's
Nice.
better. Yeah. That was when I was with 0 reais in my pocket, not having money to pay any bills. Almost like losing my mind and I was asking myself, why am I insisting in doing this? Shouldn't I look for other stuff to do? Am I really good at this?
Yeah.
So that's why that phrase. And here it says artista, artist. So yeah, so I think that's why I really like that artwork, because a lot of people like it, but they don't know where it came from.
Yeah,
But
I didn't know that.
yeah, it started with a lot of pain. But I feel like my work, it's a bit of that. It's strong feelings that I have,
Yeah.
and stuff that I really believe in. All of that, as we talked about people from Salvador before, so it's all like colorful and playful and
Yeah.
beautiful. It catches the eye, but it comes from a much deeper place.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what I do with
what
my
you-
personal work.
Yeah. And that's what you did. And that's and you talked about not having 1 centavo or any money at the time, and being in that sort of difficult place. Now look at where you are, which is why it was important for you to think about it, because it made you do it, but also continue, because now you're bearing the fruits of that, and your proof, as your testimony. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
Both parts, I think, are great. I think sometimes we need to go through
Yes.
a test.
Yes.
A
Yes.
difficult
Yes.
time.
And that taught me a really important thing that I feel like all creatives should know. That is, you can create at any point. Like you don't need a client to do something. So I feel like I did a lot of work that is on my Instagram for myself, and that brings me clients today. And I did it without
That's
any
amazing.
without
Yeah.
receiving money for it, just because I wanted to, and I enjoyed doing it. So I feel like that was a big change for me, to understand that I'm free and I can create whenever. And sometimes when you don't have the client to ask you to do something that you want to do, just do it and put it out in the world, and that kind of work will appear, because people just need to see it. They need to know that you're able to do it, right?
Yeah. They need to know it exists. They don't have your vision.
Yes.
They didn't know they liked it until they saw it.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Once I heard that a piece of art that you make and you put inside your room, it's not really a piece of art. That is just a piece of art when you put it out in the world, and people can interact to it and see what they think and talk about it. So I kind of believe in that a little bit, because it matches, it complements just makes it all work.
You're dropping gems. You're dropping gems. Listen, Maribê, appreciate you coming down. Say a massive thank you. You're giving us some good vision, and explaining about your career and stuff, your journey, which I think is amazing, and best of luck with it. thank you again for being on the Brazilian podcast. We'll do a quick outro. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you from the deep down the bottom of my heart. Like, I really do appreciate that and just the stuff that you have to say. But yeah, you represent great things that I love about Salvador and Brazil. So yeah.
I just want to say thank you as well.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
You don't have
no,
to thank
you.
me.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah.
But really, really, thank you so much. I got really excited when you reached out to me, and I feel like it's really good to connect with people from other places. I feel like diversity is the only way we can build stuff, you know. So, and connecting with people that have the same beliefs and just the same, just a similar vibe as us,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful to be here for the space, and yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Don't worry. Tamo
Junto.
juntos. Tamo junto. All right. In that case, Comunidade. We'll just say again, massive thank you to Maribê over at Studiolombra, graphic designer, entrepreneur, inspiradora, archivist. You see what I did there? Yeah. So just want to say a massive thank you to her, and if you want to check her out, all of her information will be down in the description. But just tell us, where can we find you online on the socials?
Yeah, on Instagram I'm at wtfmaribe. That's BE.
Yes, WTF, Maribê. Yeah, and what about Studio Lombra?
Studio Lombra at Studio Lombra. Studio in English and Lombra.
Yes, cool. Perfect. And also make sure that you like and subscribe as well. But catch us on social media. We're at the Brazilian Podcast, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously our YouTube channel, which is incredibly difficult to find, as I've noticed, but it's there. If you type in Brazilian Podcast and then Stephen, it will definitely come up. Amongst others that come up there as well. But yeah, that is it for today. So, obrigado, até logo, and peace.